What's up, everyone? Welcome to my cracka key issue video. Hero Hunter 81 had asked me to show off my key issues, which I'm more than happy to do. I have previously done it in a video a while back when I first started out on YouTube, and I quite honestly can't remember which video it is. And now that I'm better at marketing, I guess, and advertising and organizing on YouTube, it'll be a lot easier to find for the next time I do it. I was gonna do it all in one shot, but I was just like, wow, man. I was like, there's just so many so many comics to go through. I'm like, I'll just do it in pieces here and there. Hero Hunter 81 had the right idea, just do it all in one shot, do different parts. But I'm just like, the hell with it. So you're gonna see it, but I will mention it in videos when I'm doing a key issue video, or if I'm gonna throw it in with some of my hauls and stuff like that. But this is basically going to be Amazing Spider-Man key issue video with a little extra, a couple extra things here and there that I'm going to throw in because it's just in the section. So without further ado, I'm actually going to do a small review too towards the end because it has to do with Spider-Man. So what the hell? I figured, I don't think this is really a key issue, but it's the last of my CGC, so I just figured I'd show them. Ghost Rider number 16, where it says, in the gripping tradition of Jaws. So Ghost Rider fights a giant shark, great white. It's an 8.5. Very interesting. And this technically has to do with Spider-Man because it's the same thing, but Black Cat variant number 1, 9.0. Love the Black Cat. Very, very cool. Figured I'd show them. And a couple others that are in my that section with my CGCs that I didn't really put them with anything else because they're the way that what they're in. Superman Death issue. It's one of them. Superman Rebirth issue. It's another. One I have many of. X-Force number 1. Thanks, Hero Hunter 81. X-Men Ultimate Comics number 1. Still in its bag. Don't know if that's a key issue, but it's number 1. What the hell? And last but not least, for that is, I can't remember what issue this is, but it's when Johnny Storm dies in the Fantastic Four. So that's cool. And before I get into the other stuff, another stuff that has to do with Spider-Man at least, I found something very interesting. I was looking through another key book that I had gone over, which is Amazing Spider-Man 195, the second appearance and origin of the Black Cat. And inside, when I was reading it, I found it funny. They have an advertisement for Superman Kryptonite rocks. I mean, granted, I know about the Kryptonite rocks. I used to sell them like it was just a green pet rock. But it's just funny how they're advertising in a Marvel book, and then in the back, they have an advertisement for Superman vehicles. So I just found that a little funny how they're supposed to be like the biggest rivals, and yet they're advertising in Marvel about DC. But yeah, but another key issue I've shown before in the last video. Moving on. Key issues. Another thing that was in my CGC thing is all new Spider-Man from the Ultimate Comics number 1. Never opened. So I figured I might as well go that route, show them. This thing's pretty cool. This is the Psycho Spider-Man number 2 in the magazine form, which I heard is hard to find, but the internet, you can find anything anywhere. And this I'm going to throw in there, which I did throw in on Cali Collectibles contest, my most cherished possession, and technically I guess a key issue, but key issue to me because it's signed. Stan Lee Meets the Amazing Spider-Man number 1. It's signed by Stan Lee himself. Awesome, awesome guy. Alrighty, now to get into my Spider-Man issues. I'm going to go over some of the new ones first, and then I'm going to get into the other things, because these I got a chance to read recently, so I figured they're a little fresh in the mind. And they're key issues, technically. Amazing Spider-Man number 292. The reason this is a key issue is this is when Mary Jane at the end of the book actually says yes to Peter Parker proposing to her. So that's a key issue. It wasn't a bad book. It was kind of boring. The one before it was better. And it's just kind of funny how Alistair Smythe actually looks like when you see him, like, as human self, not the robot or anything. If you ever see Mr. Nanny with Hulk Hogan, the villain, when he had like his giant poof, that's pretty much what he looks like in this. But, yeah, just forgot to throw that in there. And this one wasn't too bad either, but I'm not 100% sure on this. I'm 90% sure this is a first appearance. Amazing Spider-Man 255. It's the first appearance of the Black Fox, I believe, if I'm correct. so that makes it a little bit of a key. Which I'll get into later on down the road with some other stuff. And this is another one that I had just read, which actually was really good. Which I really want to know what happened with Daredevil. This is Amazing Spider-Man 396. It's not a key issue, but I figured I'd throw the review in there. Apparently, at some point, Daredevil was found out that he's Matt Murdock, and he stages his own death or something like that, and Matt Murdock is buried, and then this new Daredevil shows up with a new costume, claiming he has nothing to do with Matt Murdock. And Spider-Man kind of shows up and says, hey, you know what, I need to know what you did, because I want to do the same thing. I want to get rid of Peter Parker. And the Daredevil's like, oh, he's like, I'm not Matt Murdock, but good job, now I know who you are, you know, and the whole thing. And but it was just a good book, so it's not really a key, but I really would like to know what happened to Daredevil, that he had to turn into the new Daredevil, but I'll find it out eventually. Alright. Now, these aren't really in the best of order, so I'm not going to say they're in order. Some of them are, some aren't. I mean, I pulled them in order, but when I put them all together, they got out of order. But something that's a key issue, which I haven't had a chance to read yet, I'm getting to it. Amazing Spider-Man 545, which is One More Day. It's the end of basically their marriage, I believe. I could be wrong, but I figured I'd throw that in there. And that will do that for that. Then I have, these I don't think are key issues, but it was a limited series. I forget what the hell I threw it in there. It has to do with Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man Limited Series 1 of 2, which has to do with the movie. And then there's number 2. So that's... Alright, now let's get into some stuff. You know what? I figured I'll do the annuals first, because they kind of make sense. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 19. This basically... Alicia Smythe thinks that Mary Jane is Spider-Man. I actually thought it was a cool cover. Not really 100% a key issue, but I just like the cover, so threw it in there. Here's a key issue. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 21. The Marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Very, very cool. And last of my annuals, which I got to really start bulking up on them. Amazing Spider-Man number 22, which is the first appearance of Speedball. Very cool. Alright, now to go into the regular issues. Amazing Spider-Man number 39, which is the oldest Amazing Spider-Man I have. And it's just awesome, awesome cover. It's when Spider-Man's ID was revealed to the Green Goblin, and the Green Goblin knows that he's obviously Peter Parker, and then Peter Parker finds out that Green Goblin is Norman Osborn. Very, very cool. It's one of the few items I actually have in Mylar. I know our dad, the NA5, likes that. This is actually a better copy, believe it or not, of Amazing Spider-Man number 41, which is the first appearance of the Rhino. I had given away, not a totally crappy copy, but a lesser grade than this in my contest to Bad Sorrow when he won my Ultimate Contest thing. So he received the first appearance of the Rhino, but this is a better condition copy of it. Very cool. Not really 100% sure if this is key. I really like the cover. I thought it was cool. And it kind of is, I guess, would be a key, where Spider-Man technically joins Doc Ock. Amazing Spider-Man 56. It's one of my older comics. And these, I don't think they're really keys either, but like I said, they're old Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man number 66. I just think it's a really cool cover. And Amazing Spider-Man number, like I said, no, not really in order. Amazing Spider-Man number 63, which I believe is the first appearance of the second Vulture. Not 100% sure on that, though. I could be wrong. Anyone knows, by all means, throw it in the comments, because, you know, that's how you learn. Alright, moving on. Amazing Spider-Man number 87. My cousin Kevin, who was on the show once, which I have got to get him back on the show again, had gotten this from me. It's Peter Parker is technically unmasked to everybody, that he's Spider-Man. Very cool. And this one's a cool issue. I'm actually really glad to have it. I got it for a really good price at a convention. And Hero Hunter 81 was actually talking about this, because he has the one before it, I believe. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 97, which has to do with the drug issue. That wasn't approved by the comic book code. But this one's cool. I love it because it's the Green Goblin. It's awesome, awesome book. And this one serves a dual purpose. Amazing Spider-Man number 102, which is the second appearance of Morbius. But this one my parents had gotten for me for my 10th birthday. which I was beyond crazed about. I'm like, that's awesome, oh my god. But there it is. And this, I believe, is where Spider-Man loses his 6 arms. So that technically is a key, I guess, plus the second appearance of Morbius. Amazing Spider-Man number 134, which is the first appearance of the Tarantula, which I believe they turn around and redo a cover swipe for Spectacular Spider-Man number 1. But very, very cool. This one's one of my favorites. Amazing Spider-Man number 136, which is the first appearance of Harry Osborn as the second Green Goblin. Very, very cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 156, which is the first appearance of Mirage. Now this one I didn't even know until I really went into it and was reading it, and of course, obviously reading it. But then when I had to look it up, I'm like, that can't be right. But I guess it is. Amazing Spider-Man number 162. What makes this a key is it's the first appearance of Jigsaw, who later becomes one of the major Punisher villains. And I figured, hell, if the Punisher debuted in there, I guess his villain can debut in there. This one, if I'm right, I'm not really 100%, but I'm almost 90%. Amazing Spider-Man number 176, which is the first appearance of the third Green Goblin. Hamilton, I think his name was. Dr. Hamilton. I think it was like Harry Osborn's psychiatrist, some crap like that. Which brings me to Amazing Spider-Man number 180, which is the death of the third Green Goblin, Dr. Hamilton. Amazing Spider-Man number 185, which Peter Parker graduates. Very cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 194, the first appearance of the Black Cat. Love it. Got a good deal on this at the convention I went to. Very cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 200, the double-size issue, which retells Spider-Man's origin for like the 900th time, but also, I guess, goes over the origin of the burglar that killed his Uncle Ben. Amazing Spider-Man number 212, the first appearance of Hydro Man. Very cool issue. Glad to have that. Amazing Spider-Man number 245, the Hobgoblin revealed as Lefty Donovan, which was one of the many Hobgoblins apparently that was around, which I really want to know what the hell his deal was. I know there was a few of them, but the more I read of the Hobgoblin, the more confused I'm getting. I'm like, oh my god. I remember that was like a huge thing in the 80s, keeping the Hobgoblin identity secret and stuff like that, but I guess I'll figure it out down the line. Amazing Spider-Man number 256, the first appearance of the Puma. Amazing Spider-Man number 257. The reason this is a key, well, first it's the second appearance of Puma, but it's also revealed that Spider-Man's webbing is organic. Amazing Spider-Man 258, where he actually finds out that the suit he's wearing is a symbiote, and gets rid of it, and becomes the Amazing Bagman. Amazing Spider-Man number 259. It's the return of his original suit. Very cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 263, the first appearance of the Spider Kid, which I had gotten from Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. And I did not pay $3.99. They were actually pretty cool when I went, like, the stuff, the tags. It was $4, but he gave it to me for $2, so it was pretty cool. Very nice. Alrighty. The Amazing Spider-Man number 265, which is the first appearance of Silver Sable. This is the reprint. As you can see, it's all silver, and then it says on the corner, reprinting the first appearance of Silver Sable. I know what you're thinking, you don't have the real one. Ah, yes I do. There's the real one. That's the original. Moving on. Amazing Spider-Man number 271, the first appearance of Manslaughter. Amazing Spider-Man number 276, the death of the Fly. I don't know if it's the human fly or just the fly in general. I gotta reread this one. And of course, Hobgoblin is unmasked again. Amazing Spider-Man number 280, which is the first appearance of the Sinister Syndicate, which I had also gotten from Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, where they gave it to me for $2. Amazing Spider-Man number 289, which is Hobgoblin revealed to be Ned Leeds now. And it's also the first appearance of Jason Macendale towards the end as the Hobgoblin. Not him, the Hobgoblin appearance of him. But also in this, which it came out at the same time as they had the Spider-Man vs. Wolverine book, so it's also the Death and Ned Leeds. Technically, it's the comic book version of it. So, all right, Amazing Spider-Man number 290, where Peter Parker asks Mary Jane to marry him. And then number 291, she says no. So it makes that one a king. And then, of course, I showed you 292. Amazing Spider-Man number 294, The Death of Kraven the Hunter. That's where he blows his head off with a shotgun. Or a rifle. Whatever. Amazing Spider-Man number 298, the first Todd McFarlane. Very, very cool. And a Venom cameo. Amazing Spider-Man 299, the first true appearance of Venom, and I have it signed by Todd McFarlane on the top. Very, very cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 300 Chrome Edition, which from what I hear is extremely rare now and hard to find. And people are after it, and I have it. I know you don't have the real one. Yeah, I do. Amazing Spider-Man 300, the real edition, which is the first full appearance of Venom and his origin, if you want to get technical. Amazing Spider-Man number 341, where Spider-Man loses his spider powers. And it says on here he's now the weakest hero in the Marvel Universe, which is kind of a cover swap from when he had his cosmic powers, which I do not have. Down the line, I'll get it. Amazing Spider-Man number 344, which is the first appearance of Cardiac and also the first appearance of Cletus Cassidy, who later becomes Carnage. Amazing Spider-Man number 345, which is the second appearance of Cletus Cassidy and the first tentacle appearance of Carnage in a way, because the symbiote leaves its offspring in this one. Alrighty, now this is where it's going to definitely get out of order. Like, no tomorrow, but what the hell. Amazing Spider-Man number 700. It's the regular cover. Amazing Spider-Man number 700. This is the Midtown exclusive cover. Very, very cool. Number 700, one of the variants. This is, I forget whose variant this was, but anyway, one of the variants. Very cool, love that one. Amazing Spider-Man 700, another one of the variants. Another one of my favorite ones. Green Goblin and Spidey are fighting up in the top corner. Everybody's in the diner. Amazing Spider-Man 700, another variant. Just thought that was awesome. It's the last one of the variants I have. And like I said, this is how it gets out of order. But Amazing Spider-Man number 694, which I believe is the... I think it's the death of Alpha. Well, not the death, but takes his powers away. So I have two of them. Yeah, one kind of got messed up. Alrighty, Amazing Spider-Man. Which one is this one? Hang on one second, we get them in some kind of an order. There we go. Number 692, which is the first appearance of Alpha, and it's the 50-year anniversary. But it's just awesome how they have all the different Spider-Men on there. Very cool. And, of course, what kind of fan would I be if I didn't have the variants of that? But Amazing Spider-Man 692, here's all the variants. This is the 60s variant, I believe. This was the 70s variant. The 80s variant. The 90s variant. And the 2000 variant. Very cool. Moving on. Like I said, this is no real order anymore. It's kind of got all crazed. Amazing Spider-Man number 581, where apparently Harry Osborn is still alive. As you can see, it says Osborn. Or he dies in 2008. I don't know what the hell it was with the Molten Man. I think. Anyway, if it's not a key issue, it's a cool cover. Amazing Spider-Man number 568. This is the second printing variant, which I'm not 100%, but I think this might be the first appearance of Anti-Venom. I could be wrong. Amazing Spider-Man number 568. This is a Alex Ross variant with the Green Goblin. Very cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 590. This is the Wolverine variant, which apparently is hard to find now. Another one people are after. All him playing cards. Very cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 529. This is actually the third printing, which is the first appearance, I believe, of his new spider armor. Can't remember which one it really was, if it's not that one. I'll probably have it, but... Amazing Spider-Man number 533, where Peter Parker reveals he's Spider-Man. This one my fiance had found for me at a convention, which I was looking for forever, and it was quite pricey, but not at the convention. She actually got a good deal. Amazing Spider-Man number 500. It's when it turned back into its original numbers again, which is confusing as hell. Amazing Spider-Man number 50. I just think it's an awesome cover, and it's number 50. This one was a crazy one that fluctuates like no tomorrow. But Amazing Spider-Man number 36, which is the black cover for the 9/11. Got two of them. The sales on those things really, they do fluctuate. I saw in one comic book store I'd gone to, it was like $600 in near mint, which these are. I didn't even. I think I read it once, and then the other one I never even touched. eBay, I've seen them for $1,000. I've seen them for $3. It just goes up and down, up and down. This is another one I heard is hard to get, which I'm not really 100% sure. I mean, I've seen them, but I've seen them pretty expensive. Amazing Spider-Man number 30. Just really love that cover. I think it's awesome. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 1 of the second, volume 2 from '99. That's when it switched. And this one is Amazing Spider-Man number 441, which is the last issue of the volume 1. Before it turns into this. And last but not least in my collection, people are like, you don't have it. No, you didn't. Like I said, it was out of order. But Amazing Spider-Man number 361, the first appearance of Carnage. Very, very cool. It's the original, it's the white. So now they have like a second printing one out there, which is like a gold brown looking thing. But if you want the good one, it's the white one you gotta find. Before I go, I also want to thank, I should have done this in the beginning, but my new subscriber, the incredible CJ. Thanks for subscribing, I appreciate it. I think I'm up to 150 now, which is cool. Which fluctuates. I go from 148 to 150, and then it keeps going up and down, but hey, whatever. I hope you enjoyed my Amazing Spider-Man key issues. There was quite a few. I mean, I do have a lot of Spider-Man, but these are just the key issue ones that I think are key issues, or should be key issues, or whatever. And there is plenty more to go. I mean, I have other Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Spectacular, all that stuff. So there's a lot, X-Men, everything. So I'll be doing them periodically. So stay tuned for them. And today I should be getting, I should be getting 3 packages today, 3 shipments. But the way it looks, I might only just get one. Because it's weird, the post office and then all this other stuff. They've been coming late and whatever. But I should have at least 1 package today, which I'll do another video later on today when I get it. A couple of new things in there, a couple old back issues, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe I'll get all 3 of them, which is 2 of them are back issue bundles, and the other one is new and back issues. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you really like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. I think I'm going to do a shout-out video down the line, just to go over everybody again, just to show my appreciation for everybody who subscribed to me. I did do one before, which took a lot of work, talking about everybody, but everyone's worth it. I was going to say they're worth it, but they are. Everyone out there is worth it, so they deserve shout-out videos. Like I said, I don't always do them, but when I do them big. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and like I said, stay tuned for future key issue videos. And it's not the size of your man cave that matters, it's what you have in it. Later.